Welcome back for another video. Bench boost success, Mukiele mega haul. As always, every Sunday, let's discuss what we've learned to take into the next game week and also an early look at my team selection and transfer plans. Let's get into it. Chelsea 3, Forest 0. Chelsea named a Premier League 11 without Caicedo for the first time since Christmas Eve 2023 against Wolves, which ended a run of 65 consecutive starts for Caicedo. Further to that, Enzo missing out entirely, not in the squad. Maresca said he's out with an injury. Hopefully he'll be back very soon. Now there is Champions League games on midweek, so we can assess it there first of all. Is he in the squad? Does he start? I still think it looks like a potential gem pick if he's back next game week. GW actually looked really sharp when he came on, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if he starts against Sunderland. So if you've got him, you might actually want to consider starting him, which is kind of fun as well if he does start, because he was literally just on loan at Sunderland and now he might start against them. Since the start of the 23-24 season, no Premier League manager has seen their side concede more goals in the opening 10 minutes of the second half than Ange Postecoglou with 16 times, and he spent just 39 days in charge of Nottingham Forest. That's the shortest managerial reign of any permanent Premier League manager to leave a club during the season. James with a goal, assist, clean sheet and maximum bonus for an 18-pointer. And Neto as well, goal and assist himself, 12 points for him. But João Pedro blanked again. Just one shot he took all match, 0.04 expected goals shot, 0.21 expected assists. It's become a really frustrating pick, especially if you missed out on those early points at the start of the season like myself, and then you've picked him up and it's gone on this run of blanks. But the fixtures ahead are great still, which does make it a complicated decision. Are you guys keeping hold? Man City 2, Everton 0. Vardy named on the bench, not even subbed on. O'Reilly started in left back and had a great game, and it was Ake in left centre back. Haaland continues to farm the league with a brace for a 13-pointer, or 26 if you captain him. That's 83 points after 8 games, which is 10 point something points per game. I tried to work it out there. 83 points is the most points he's ever had at this stage. That's 10 more actually than he had in his record-breaking debut season after 8 games. Reinders subbed off in the 59th minute, absolute piss take. 1 minute later, and that's 2 more points he would have got, 3-pointer instead of 1. I might keep hold of him still. There's just not really any other mids around that price tag tearing it up, but maybe Paquetá could be an interesting one for not much more in price, and obviously he's on pens, good fixtures, new manager, etc. And Dye with 12 DEFCONs in the first half. It's very rare that you see someone hit DEFCON points in the first half, let alone a midfielder, and let alone someone that's not a defensive mid. Mateta stole the headlines with a hat-trick against Bournemouth in a mad 3-3 thriller. I can't remember ever seeing a player with a higher XG than this, but it might have happened before. He took 11 shots, 3.67 expected goals. Absolutely mad numbers. He should have got a 4th right at the end as well, Mr. Sitter. He and Palace overall have been generating good numbers this season consistently. If you watched the experts video just last week, we did have that segment on team data, and if you recall, Palace and Man City were the 2 teams that we highlighted as by far the best 2 for generating high quality chances, and Mateta was the suggested player there. Well played if you did pick him up. Of course it is Arsenal next now, so it is a transfer that can realistically wait until Gameweek 10 if you're tempted. Particularly given the likes of, João Pedro and Gyökeres have failed to impress. If they blank again next game week, I can see a lot of people considering that switch. Munoz assisted 2 of the goals, 10-pointer he got, and he actually hit DEFCON as well, along with Richards. Lacroix missed out. Senesi also hit DEFCON, but of course he conceded 3 times, got perked, and ended up that standard 2-pointer for him. The other player who stole the headlines is Krupi Jr. Evan Nilsson unexpectedly not in the squad. Iriola did say it's not a serious one. However, up steps 4.5 mil forward Krupi with a brace, 12-pointer he got. It would be quite harsh not to give him another start as well. Evan Nilsson had started 7 out of 7 games before that, but he'd only scored once all season. Krupi comes in and gets a brace. I wouldn't buy him counting on him being a starter. It won't happen regularly, and he probably does still drop back to the bench sooner than later. So how does the fixture ticker look from Gameweek 9, sorted by easiest fixtures? Top of the ticker is Chelsea. They've got a run of Sunderland, Spurs, Wolves, Burnley, Arsenal and Leeds. So they've got Sunderland, Burnley and Leeds in the next 6 game weeks. Enzo's the one who I don't have that I'd love to add to my team if he's fit. But as we were saying earlier, this fixture run does make João Pedro a real predicament because the fixtures are just so good. And yeah, João Pedro is just not a natural number 9. I actually really hope we see Gu start the next match. I think it's very possible, and we see João Pedro playing behind him, which I think will benefit the team. Despite the haul, I'd actually avoid James. Like, he started 5 out of 8 this season. It's just not consistent enough, injury record aside. Chalobah, Cucurella are the ones if you want to go there. And midfield, there's Caicedo and Enzo. Avoid the rest. Man United are second on the ticker, which does actually make me think I'm probably going to just say it and forget Bruno for a while. And obviously I get the comments every week about Bruno, but I think I'm going to keep hold of him. I mean, Amorim actually just confirmed in his press conference as well that Bruno will stay on penalties, and he has been practicing them, so that's quite reassuring as well, because there was a speculation maybe Mbeumo takes the next one after 2 misses by Bruno. So Arsenal are in third on the ticker, but what's the best triple up? Well, Eze looks a great option. Of course, Ødegaard's out injured for a bit, but he did blank and he was subbed early last match. Double Arsenal defence and Saka is probably the most common answer you'll get, and I'll be inclined to agree. Like, probably Gabriel, Timber, Saka will be the perfect triple up right now. Bournemouth's next 3 do look a bit rough, but they're up there on the ticker. From Gameweek 12, the fixtures do swing back nicely. So yeah, no rush to buy Senesi right now if you've not got him. Some other names that come to mind here looking at this: Ndai, Tarkowski from Everton, Bowen, Paquetá from West Ham, and then I'd say Sarr, Mateta and Munoz, all great from Palace. I'll keep this next one brief because I don't think too many care as far as your teams, but let me have this one. There's been some top all-timer moments on the channel over the years, and I think this has got to be a new entry. Sunderland winning 2-0. Mukiele, of all players, scoring a goal, keeping a clean sheet, hits DEFCON, and he gets maximum bonus for a 17-pointer for only 4 mil on the bench boost. And Roofs is the top scoring keeper in the game as well. It's safe to say absolutely no one saw this coming, but they have made some incredible signings and shown serious ambition to stay up. As it stands, they're 7th. Mukiele, thank you again. Another thing we highlighted on those charts in the experts video last week is just how elite Arsenal's defence is. After the 1-0 win over Fulham, they haven't faced a shot on target in consecutive Premier League games, and that's for the first time since November in their title-winning season of 2003-2004. And the second game in that run actually was also up against Fulham, coincidentally. So Gabriel flicking a ball on for the goal as well, meaning he finished on 12 points, including some bonus. Saka did blank, or sort of. He did have a really good game, and I think owners can consider themselves quite unlucky to not have any goal involvements. Despite no involvements, he got 2 bonus points, he hit DEFCON, he got 7-pointer. Since 2020, there's only been 4 times that a player has created 6+ chances and also had 6+ successful take-ons. 2 of those 4 are Saka, against Fulham and against Leicester last year. Kluivert did it versus Brighton earlier this year, and Elise did it versus Leeds in 2023. Anderson went off with a hamstring injury in the first half, not great, potentially disrupting a lot of Gameweek 9 bench boosts there as well if he's out for a bit. Rounding off Sunday's games, a massive upset with that Man United win over Liverpool at Anfield as well. And Mbeumo on the score sheet just 2 minutes into the game, which was an Ahmad assist. There's only been a goal that early in a game between these two once before ever, and that was all the way back in 1995 when Nicky Butt scored for Man United at Old Trafford. Gakpo with the equaliser, he looked like Liverpool's best player to be honest with you. And then a Maguire late header to put them ahead again for the winner. There's a brilliant assist from Bruno, basically hitting the ball first time into the box. Probably Amorim's best day in charge of United so far, and I take a lot of confidence with that. Salah, another blank. 1.5 million managers sold Salah, so they'll be pleased with that. It's crazy how much he's fallen off this season though. Like, this is his worst ever start in terms of points at this stage. Whereas, it's just all about Haaland this season. He's the opposite. This is the most points that Haaland's got at this stage after 8 games. Van Dijk and Konate hit DEFCON points. I was saying in last week's content that this isn't the same Liverpool team defensively, and they do look more vulnerable than the last season for sure. Like, there's going to be more DEFCON points, which is what we've seen, especially for Van Dijk, but basically fewer clean sheets most likely. And yeah, not necessarily as bad as the fixture looks facing them. That's 4 losses on the bounce for Slot in all competitions. The first time that's happened in his managerial career. And the last time Liverpool did that was back in 2014 under Brendan Rodgers. In other news, Rodgers returned again. After 5 blanks in a row the first 5 game weeks, that's 3 games in a row that he's returned in now. You couldn't write it really. Like, I sold him after those first 5 game weeks. Did anyone else do the same with him? Watkins was named on the bench, having picked up a knock over the international break, and he came on for a 1-pointer. Richarlison was also benched in favour of Tell, who of course scored before the break. though you wouldn't be surprised if Richarlison started next match. Voltemada scored again for Newcastle, that's 4 goals in 5, just 1 blank. Brighton ultimately won though thanks to a Welbeck brace. Van Heck hit DEFCON points in that match. He's only 4.4 million, so it could be a handy cheap pick given their fixtures don't look too bad long term. Burnley have beaten Sunderland and Leeds 2-0 now, both of them. Crucial win, which also saw Dubravka finish on 9 points and Walker with 14 points. Calvert-Lewin had 4 attempts in the box that game against Burnley, but failed to convert. A quick look at DEFCON, courtesy of the Focal app. You can install it free with the link below or just search FBL Focal in the App Store. So Senesi still leads for DEFCONs per 90 with 13.49, 88% success rate, all but 1 game. I filtered it here to players that have started in at least 60% of games because I just wanted to make sure Mukiele was included. He has started every game since his debut in, I think it was Gameweek 2 or 3, and he's second best after Senesi. And then it's Anderson, Tarkowski, Mavropanos and Richards. And I filtered midfielders to at least 40% because I wanted to capture Florentino from Burnley. He's only 5 million. He only made his full debut in Gameweek 5, but he's an absolute beast for DEFCON since his debut. 15.12 DEFCONs per 90 is top in the league. 100% success rate, and he actually got an assist last match as well. Albeit the assist was for a screamer well outside the box. Caicedo, Anderson, Xhaka, a few other notable names there. So, an early look at my team selection and transfer plans for Gameweek 9. It's Raya in goal, it's Vardiol, Gabriel, Senesi in defence, and Dai, Semenyo, Bruno, Reinders in midfield, João Pedro, Haaland and Gyökeres up front. Haaland captain obviously. So I'm on 5 free transfers and there's obviously so many options. There's quite a lot to consider now. Like, is Vardiol now a bench risk? If so, then I'm going to need to spend a transfer there really, because otherwise it'd be Mukiele subbing on away to Chelsea. So I could downgrade him to a 4.4 mil defender like Juve, which frees up enough money for Stack to Enzo. I'd quite like to keep Vardiol still though. Like, I don't know if it was perhaps an injury or something, or a minor knock, because he was also benched for Croatia and it just seemed a certainty to start. I mean, I literally had him on the thumbnail of the deadline stream, so I think I cursed him there. So I could now make the move that I'd planned to do in Gameweek 8, which was Ndai to Enzo. I mean, Ndai's not been bad to be honest, so it's a little bit harsh, but as you saw earlier, Chelsea are literally top of the fixture ticker now. He's probably on pens, he'll get forward plenty in Palmer's absence, so yeah, Ndai to Enzo is quite nice, and that obviously keeps me on 5 free transfers the following week. There is a triple move that's tempting me though, so in addition to Ndai to Enzo, I could swap Gyökeres to Gu and Reinders to Saka. I do think Saka's a better asset than Gyökeres, but whether it's worth 2 transfers like that is kind of debatable, and it does still leave me a Stack, who I'm a bit less bullish on now, but I would have 0.5 mil in the bank, so maybe I could do something there. There is the option to go Stack to Saka and Gyökeres to Gu instead, which does fix that problem and gets rid of Stack, but then it doesn't get me to Enzo, and there isn't enough money for Ndai to Enzo, if that makes sense. So it's a bit of a dilemma. If the deadline was in 10 minutes, I think I'd just do Ndai to Enzo, but luckily it's not, and I've got the week ahead to think it over. As a reminder, there is a lot of midweek football on, so the recommendation is not to make early transfers. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll be back on Monday with more daily content. See you soon for the next one.